So I'm half Irish and Trinidadian. And yeah.
Welcome to BYOB Live. It's a pleasure to have each person here, and to our audience who are watching. It's nice to have you here. My name is Akor. I'm your host, and we have Soft Spoken, the co-host, and we have a lot of open micers. And our special guest, our headliner today, is Special K from America. So it's going to be a nice show, and I would start off with one poem. Not the sacrificial poet, but just something. For every smile you planted with earth-colored hands and blood-flavored lips, you are the lasso that holds our worlds together. Thank you. For arms that run through fires and never char enough to forget to be gentle, you are the hug that I fall into. Thank you. For those eyes that still shine after drowning in tears, and after drowning in tears, to douse the flames, or those floods that hold your heart shut. You are the light I seek even in sunshine. Thank you. Thank you. So,
Yeah.
thank you. So our first poet is all the way from Malaysia. I've never been there, but I heard food is legit, very cool. And I hear it's a really beautiful country. I've seen pictures and I'm like, yeah, I have to do this. So this would be the fact that there's poetry there and I'll be hearing some poetry from there is just going to increase my desire to go there again. All right, so let's put our, let's clap, whatever we're going to do, and welcome Katsuri to.
Hello. Thank you, everyone. My name is Los Nadodi. I am from Malaysia. So I'm going to read a poem. So it's not very content warning, first of all, for drug use and colonialization-induced struggles. This is not a reflection of how Malaysia is. Malaysia is really nice, but this is a struggle of some of the people here. So here goes. A Malaysian, strong and sweet, the red I bleed, melanges well with the stripes of my flag like reed. So Malaysian, the blood of my ancestors fuel this nation with a color so vibrant as the iron-rich soil, crimson brown, like the bodies behind bars. The viscosity of their blood runs like water, while its ferocity waters this land, flora and fauna. The humidity, it's sauna. So they scrap, their sweat dripping like the white milk.
I'm sorry. Could you try and get closer to the mic, because it doesn't seem to be working from our side.
Can you hear me now?
Perfect. Yeah, that's a lot better. If you want to start from the beginning, that'd be amazing.
Yes, please. Sorry.
That's okay.
A Malaysian, strong and sweet, the red eye bleed, melanges well with the stripes of my flag like reed. So Malaysian, the blood of my ancestors fuel this nation, with a color so vibrant as the iron-rich soil, soiled, crimson brown like the bodies behind bars. The viscosity of their blood runs like water, while its ferocity waters this land, its flora and fauna. The humidity, a sauna. So they scrap, their sweat dripping like the white milk seeping as their shiny faces sulk against the sheening sun. Sunny but unfunny like blood money, wiped green and brown of palm trees aligned, lined and cut like iron bars. The bodies stand behind. The child back home, nearly all of 8 years. No tears as he plays to the music of his father wailing, rolling, crawling, moaning, finally dying. Intoxicated, deflated, subjugated, baited, criminated, now faded to the dope he snorted, injected. With the same hope, the child runs between stained walls as their thralls living, breathing the scent of fresh piss. The child, he draws words of dismiss along dark colors in corners where the walls meet, unquestioned, like the disappearance of his brother's appearance. And his coherence, the child sees you and thought, so you see me, but do you hear me? Can you understand me? Because I don't. I catch your dirty looks and downward stares, my body personified, gentrified, the color of the night sky and the dirt alike. The walls I walk tell stories of pain, a train of senseless pleasure I measure to the metronome of my home. But do you know? I read you not with my eyes, but my lips, like the cover of a book, for its gloss, its colors, its shapes and sizes, and its feel. Nothing less, nothing more. Your words are just characters like a series of cartoons just running across the page. Oh, fun to look at. And I have my own meaning for it, but that's it. And that's all I understand of you. So really, I don't. Thank you. My name is Lost Narodi.
That was incredible.
Wow.
Amazing.
Yes, darling.
That was lovely.
Absolutely.
Wow.
I mean, you had so many punchlines. I saw so many comments coming up of some of your lines. I think the one that struck me was the metronome of my home. That I really liked that. I like the idea of that and how that resonates. When did you write this piece?
I wrote this a few hours ago.
Oh, gangster. Okay, all right, nice. So
I wanted to perform something that I've been in like a little bit of a block per se, where I didn't have new words coming, and then all of a sudden in the end I was just like, this is what I'm experiencing right now, and this is what I'm seeing. I'm a child protection officer, so this is what I saw throughout the whole Corona period. And, New Year's or not New Year's, it's the same thing every day for them. So,
yeah. Thank you for that. It's such a lovely piece.
Thank you for this opportunity, and thank you for lending me your ears tonight or this afternoon.
Yeah, we'd love to have you back. It'll be nice to have you again. All right, so we'll move to the next poet on our list. We have Miriam Alpha T. Take it away.
Thank you. Hi. Can I just give thanks to the last poet? That was a fantastic poem, honestly. Well done. So with my poem, we carry on to the evening. So my poem is called Drowning in the Dead Sea, and this is my personal tribute to all the children in war zones that flirt with death every day. The blood that submerged from my open veins poured out, painting patterns and shapes through the sand. Married the waters of the ocean, it was finally deep enough. Or should I say that my body without its blood was shallow enough, and that's what drowned me. I lost sight and started to get cold and drowsy. God, am I returning to you? Will it now be a direct conversation between us two? Did you speak to your ocean? Because I can feel its waves touching me ever so slightly with such warm emotion as I fade in and out of this realm in a cinematic slow motion. You see, last week I tried to drown myself in the Dead Sea, but the waves were shallow and the salt of the sea kept rejecting me, and I just floated. My mind a boulder that drowned in its own oceans of pain over and over whilst the sea rejected me. I looked at the West Bank, Gaza, my home, an open-air prison of a city. I cannot take it anymore. Being a child imprisoned whilst the world told me that technically I'm free. I can't handle the pain of living through another siege, so I begged the sea, please swallow me. Please embrace me, hold me, take me. Inside of your beautiful calm depths, I'm too tired to grieve. I'm too tired for bombs and screams. Too tired of living on the edge of an edge. Too tired to even sometimes breathe. And holding on to the misery of life that just rewinds and repeats. Please see. Why don't you want to take me? The deeper I go, the more you reject me. Can't you make my wish come true? Engulf and within your shells protect me. God, please hear me. You are the creator of all things. Please tell your sea to take me. I can't live through another night of nightmares of losing my mother. The night tonight is alive, it's roaring, it's glowing so bright, but not a single star in sight. Instead, multiple devastations in forms of bombs that fall, shooting stars that shoot us, a silence that screams decades of violence. God, I can't take it, please tell your sea to swallow me. I'd rather drown than live or even foolishly plan for a tomorrow or a future. My mind these days is blank, a constant black and white static screen. I can't and don't want to dream. When my life is tested daily by bombs and tanks, see, I went to the sea to see. Spoke to the ocean on a daily and tried to reason with it and tell it why its waves should take me. If I'm not supposed to drown, I told the ocean, then please save me. Like the prophet Moses, if I put myself in a basket big enough for my child body, will you let your waves to safety place me? But it didn't listen. And I grew impatient, and by the 7th day, as I was about to walk away, something finally happened. I can tell you in detail, I can't tell you in detail. It's all a blur. A light, a flash, a crash, an explosion. Blood, a lot of blood. I opened my eyes and I could see I was finally drowning. But this time it was not my blood. Sorry, this time it was not the ocean. It was my blood that was surrounding. As I felt the waves gently touch me and pull away in hesitation, then reach out to reassure me again. Don't be scared, it told me. It's peaceful in paradise where you're going. The Almighty saw the pain that you were undergoing, and now you're going to a place where you'll become a free bird, glowing and growing. Beautiful child, go be in his bounty and grace where there'll be no more misery or water face. I knew that now my wish came true. See, I drowned in the sea today. As I drew my final breath to the ocean shore, I will meet my maker. I will tell him about all the injustice that I saw, but I still want to hug my mum one last time. That yearning was so painful and raw. If only the world had acted to correct the injustice that they saw, I wouldn't be another victim. And my mum wouldn't have to have this new level of pain to live in. You see, I was transitioning slowly, dying alone. Is this why they say be careful for what you wish for? Because today I tried to drown in the Dead Sea, but instead I ended up drowning in my own red blood. Thank you.
Yo, that last line, oh my God. Wow, flames, absolute flames. Have mercy on my soul. Amazing. Absolutely, no, honest to God, amazing, incredible.
Thank you.
Wow. That was an amazing poet. He said, do you speak to your oceans because I can feel its wave? Like, yeah, I like how the imagery in your poetry made us feel we were, you could feel the waves, you could feel the salt of the sea, you could feel the blood pumping in your body. Also, yeah, it's well written, and it's just a very touching piece, especially in this time where you can see the things happening in the world and how some people are having a really terrible time because of just our greed as humans and the way we've neglected ourselves. So thank you for sharing that.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for the platform, and thank you for listening, guys.
Yeah. Next, we'll move to a regular here. I think he has a show coming up, or he just had a show. I can't remember. I did click on.
It's gone.
It's happened already. Okay. Next, welcome the Lantern Carrier.
I'm reading a collaborative piece between the American poetess Leslie Constable and myself. I will do the entire thing. For we are in light as children, open to the blessings of the eternal. In life, all of us in its glory. The sun, the moon, or rivers we flow upon, the sea paths we sail on, the hills, the woods we walk through, the waters coursing, the breezes that lightly touch us, kissing our skin, the sun which bathes us in its glory and warmth, the trees standing mightily to shield and shelter us, the animals, our brothers and sisters in this world, start standing with us, being with us, the birds of the sky, the messengers of eternal love, to sing and delight us flying above, the fishes and creatures of the seas, the mountains standing tall, hovering above to remind us of what we must know and cause us wonder, that we may dream together in this our time and remain united in this our love for all time. Lantern says, for we are in light in golden sparks, For we are in light as golden sparks, reacting to the cause and effect of this cyclical game. The strong waves we sail upon, the ashen clouds on which we drift, are naught but the sweet chords of the beloved's music. The lost forest roamed in yesteryears are the blooming flowers of today's sunset, the redolent blossoms of tomorrow's radiant sunrise. Each now is the morn of another daybreak that keeps our flames burning. The winds of transformation lies within its sacred heart. Nothing happens without the inner rhapsody. The translucent heavens are a projection of its luster, the rivers but a flowing of its breath. We're in this dance as wayfarers traveling on a GPS all mapped out for us, in a journey of self-transcendence, a gift of love. Our fears or challenges are but the veil of the invisible, cloaking our hopes with shadows, yet hugging and kissing our souls with sunlight, replenishing new life. Nature whispers of its flames like a row of golden lanterns. The skylark sings of the songbird of the soul. Night heralds the incandescent moon. Winter inevitably dissipates, so we can enjoy the grandeur of spring flowers. Dawn brings us song bearers so our hearts can be citadels of beauty. We exist to dream on the supernal lap of wonder, to blend with love in the peerless ocean of the unknown. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Lantern Carrier. Thank you.
Wow.
Okay, yeah. Again,
So beautiful.
yeah, it's. I think visually your style, your visual style, matches your poetry in how bright and colorful and filled with imagery and just life it is. And yeah, I always say that whenever I hear you read poems, and I really love that.
Thank you. You're very kind. Thank you.
All right, so we'll move from London to Russia, St. Petersburg, and we have Angela. Take it away.
Yes, here I am. Hello, hello. Yes, I hope you all can hear me well. My internet is a little bit wobbly today. Yes, thank you so much for such a warm welcome. Yes, today I'm reading a poem that I've basically just finished writing last night, and it's like a hot potato. I didn't even have a chance to actually read it out loud, so this is going to be the first time reading it, and you'll be the first people to actually hear it. And there's a little bit of a warning. You may think that you hear a rude word, but it's not. It may sound like it, but it actually spells out as H-O-A-R, not the other way around. You'll hear it and you'll know it. So there it goes. And also, English is my second language, so I couldn't find a way to pronounce it so that it doesn't sound like the other word. Whatever, here it comes. This town is done for, its dust and its folklore fermenting, and therefore it's time to see this hall, the songs in her bookstores, communal flats, red floors, its alcoves and back doors, I'll trade for unknown shores. It hit me as I was looking out the taxi window in the rain. The music played and I could see the past unwrapped like it was yesterday. Images, slides on a film reel, stories and scenes that don't feel real. Beige trench coat, trepidation, working it out, worried about small things. Dark lips, playing the game of make-believe, falling for sparkles and sandcastles. She's so naive. Hair cut, handcuffed, braving the storm, while dancing and tripping, pouring her heart in a verse form. Embankments glisten as I sit and listen, as I follow the trail of the roots walked and arms held and truths told and cards dealt, and watch the kaleidoscope rise and unveil. The city of bridges demands the reckoning, so the reckoning it shall get. And no matter how much I'd like to live down, I don't have the right to forget. I have felt this before. I am being pulled out, and it's time to count the score. In the chasm of the night, in the blizzard and hail, I am yet to yield the floor. Lilac skies with scarlet hues. 8 years on the run, 8 years on the loose. A checkpoint to wondrous breakthroughs. The city insisted I pay all my dues. Left my footprints here and there, wired mementos in the air. Blue eyes on the blue walls, Cathedrals and morning walks, counting days to the cafe talks, splashing colors in city halls, left its traces here and there, scattered tombstones of this sorry affair. Green eyes make me green with envy. Misunderstandings one too many, highs and lows a feeding frenzy, it raptures exulting and spears deadly, left its remnants here and there, shredded masterpieces past repair. Black tints marked my black days, shrouded in garments of chocolate glaze. It tainted canals and splattered the stains of great expectations and unbroken chains, left its imprints here and there, eyeing me up with a venal stare. And round every corner, at every bus stop, on every staircase, I hear echoes of voices and whispers, and I keep seeing ghosts with the same face. The city of bridges is breathing my life. It's layered with miracles, layered with strife, and I'm fully aware that the bridges I burn come as bonfire night, a point of no return. But I can't help but feel like each street I walk by, something breaks deep inside. I am saying goodbye. You've been watching me grow, now you're watching me go. Never meant to stay long, and you knew all along. Here, before, and ever more. Hear the bell. Farewell. Thank you very much. Whew, Jesus Christ. I'm shaking. Ooh.
And you said English is your second language. Wow.
Great performance.
Every time someone says that English is my second language, they just bust out some Stephen Fry-esque level of English, and you're like, please, you know, that was impressive. And I mean,
thank you.
You said this is your first reading of it, so wow, okay. Wow.
Yeah, I'm feeling I'm fully on shaking and trembling because like that was fresh from the oven, you know.
That was cool. But like the imagery, I personally like poems that have colors in it, and the more the colors to a certain degree, the better for me. But when you use those colors to make us feel like we're in another place, when we pay attention to your words and we listen and we feel we're somewhere else. When you talked about the bridges and then the bonfire and the bridges you've burnt, and you know, that had a very sense of being there and watching it happen and also going past it. And that I really like that about your poetry. You do that a lot.
Thank you. Thank you. So much appreciated. Thank you very much.
All right. So next we have someone who is doing a collaborative piece. He has been one of our headliners here, and his fro looks like Afro Man. Let's welcome Rohan next.
Rohan. What an introduction, thanks, man. Yeah, so I'm collaborating with the amazing Rianne Brooke, who is, well, she's below me on my screen. I don't know where she is on your screen.
I'm here.
Yeah,
you see me?
Yeah, so I feel like all fresh and new and that. So yeah, we've got a piece about being a sapiosexual, so being in love with like people's mind and their intelligence. So yeah, whenever you're ready. Whenever you're ready.
Don't be shy, it's all good. I've never seen you shy before. Okay. Let me tease you, let me please you with my clever tongue tricks. Word play with me until you get your fix.
Let me understand the way your brain waves. Most people want to see your subtle curves and redefine the hourglass. I want to see how she moves when we ride the wave of knowledge. Because I know the ledge that I sit on is only there for me to fish for truths and catch the learning. Play the teacher role. Teach me how to tongue roll between your synonyms and antonyms. I want to know every seed of your word taste, budding, floral flavors. Your mind is nature.
Nothing greater than a creator. Intellect dripping from my lips, rolling off my skin like beads of anticipation, sweat, panting breathless idioms, saturated in acronyms, making us WET wet. As I'm quoting, you're anecdoting on my every word, each fact caressing your senses, kisses graciously conferred.
It don't matter if the speechless. I just find it sexy how you can make the wind whisper your thoughts. There's aesthetics to the whistle. The harmonic melodies of your memories, the thoughtful thoughts on electric notes that floats my boat. So when I roll to you, I'm rolling truth.
Come roll your truth around my body's roof. Explore my cranium, feel your way around. Discover every crevice, I want my brain to pound. Spread me open like a book, finger my pages leaf by leaf. Take me wholly without permission like a neuron thief.
Oh, I'm the thief? Well, in that case, I'll take the mission per neuron, nerve cell center, my senses, sensory input, bring serenity to my mind, fill every single whole of your memory banks, and together we can build a currency that's currently only able to be spent by us.
Take my acumen lined purse and let's disperse until the friction of my fiction causes sparks. Then let my dexterity fuel your fire, my quick wit fill you with desire. Cause baby, I'm an intellectual and I can tell by your remarks. You're a screaming sapiosexual and mine fucking fills your heart.
Ah, that's us.
At the
Damn.
end.
Screaming sapient.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It sounds like you've got a lot of poems pregnant. Like everyone's poem collectively.
Yo, I am not looking to pay that much child support. I am broke. Yeah.
That was a lovely piece. When did you guys write that? Both of you?
Like 3 weeks ago, maybe, something like
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
Might have even been less than that. Might have only been a week and a half or so ago, but yeah.
Yeah, something
Led
like
to
that.
it. I mean, it's
By the way, the guys at home can't see this as well, but Tish wrote something in the chat which is just
Yo.
So, like, when people, I really like seeing collaborative poetry, right? To see how two different minds can just fuse into doing something. And sometimes you can actually see each person's writing style in the sections that they carry out, which was evident in this today. There was just this distinction that worked together. I mean, what two things work like that?
Like butter and bread.
Lemon and honey.
Bread, like it kind of melts into each other. So it's not, one is not opposite to the others per se. That's why I didn't use that. It's like salt. Yeah, when you do salt, lemon, and tequila thing, right?
Mm.
Right. Yeah, it's just the taste is all over the place, but it works together. And just, that's my point. Yeah.
So, I have never heard anyone compare poetry to tequila shots in my life.
I kind of like it though.
Like, Akor, you're amazing, man.
But yeah, so what inspired both of you to collaborate and do this piece?
We were talking about collaborating for a while, weren't we? And then you were telling me how much of a sapiosexual you were. So I was like, that's what we should write it on.
Okay. And do you have other collaborative pieces you've worked on or you're working on?
That was the first one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I said many, I hope.
Means
Yeah,
more.
man.
Okay, all right. C'est bon. It's all good. but it's so cool having both of you here. Double R. That's what you guys should call yourself. Oh,
Double R.
don't
R and R.
Rero.
Rero.
Oh, thank you. Thanks
It's
for
nice
that.
having you here, though.
Thank you, Akor, man. Appreciate it. Thank you, Riri.
Thank you, Roro.
What poet said about it? It's so funny.
What is going on here? Really, real. Can y'all just move? Next, is Archie here? Is Archie here or no?
Unfortunately not.
You snooze, you lose, homie. All right.
Actually, can I quickly do a piece because Mariam just inspired me with her poem.
All right.
All right.
Yes, please take it away.
All right. Sorry, guys. I normally don't do this, but yeah, Mariam, your piece really kind of spoke to me. It reminded me when I went on holiday recently, and I was looking over the Mediterranean Sea, and yeah, so it's called Palermo. So I want you to imagine that you're African, Iranian, or maybe Mesopotamian, but definitely soon to be an illegal alien on the rough terrain towards the Mediterranean. And your mission is to get to what used to be Arabian. And at your destination, the only thing between you and freedom is what's accumulatively killed millions. And at your destination, the natives are Cretan, Cypriot, or Sicilian, but the idea is for you to seek refuge with your cousins in Michigan. Failing that, you'll settle for Britain and live with your sister in, God forbid, Birmingham, but all you want is peace and dignity for your children. So, claim your position in this new normal, mere mortal, where the ones that drowned end up at a new portal, immortalized in the Atlantis of our collective consciousness, anonymous are the victims seeking the promised metropolis, where the reckless are ruthless, the helpless are breathless, as they cross the wilderness of emptiness and wickedness. Autonomous is the future that guides your thought process, though the obstacles are limitless and the reality is ominous. But you smile at your child and pretend it's all okay, knowing full well the shore is still 20 miles away. But you, be brave, walk the waves. It's not like you can run away. And who's going to upstage your attempts to save the day? Because the teenagers among you have a potential you can't delay. And these waterways are either risque or just a passageway where pain sustained becomes a distant memory far away. If only this sea could quench your fire of rage. Well, now it's year 5 and somehow you've survived, and now they've dumped you in Moss Side. And what terrorized your mind didn't cause your demise, and what doesn't kill was a child that allowed you to thrive and derive a life where enterprise is recognized. But don't be surprised by what hides and connives, because bad advice and ill minds can kill your child with knives, and what was the sense of your paradise becomes the ultimate sacrifice, and you cauterize your bleeding eyes with the salt of the sea from which you arrived. And so you sing the following at your child's eulogy. The Mesopotamian lion guards the bridge from Basra to Birmingham, whilst the Celtic tiger slaughters evil by the diaphragm. Don't worry, young warrior, your time will soon come, and your enemies to defeat thou shalt soon succumb, and stand tall and withstand this weary world's exam. Understand, young man, your part in the plan. You are a giant destined to lead these flock of lambs, and mediocrity shall never define your program. And rest in peace to the thousands and thousands who lose their lives on the way to what they hope was a life of dignity across the Mediterranean Sea. Thank you.
Wow. Wow.
Incredible. Incredible. Thank you so much.
Say it louder.
Nice.
And like.
Every time I hear that poem, I think this is the 3rd time I'm hearing it. It's just, yeah, it's a very poignant poem. Do you have it? Like one, okay. I think my preference is paid poetry, right? And I really want to read that piece of work. I want to go through it at a slower pace and just, taking each line and understand it a little bit more. I think I look forward to the day where we could just take everyone's poem and put it in a book, and there'll be a BYOB book or something like that.
We've discussed this before as well, but it's definitely soon to come. We'll work out how it's going to happen.
2021?
Yeah, 2021, exactly, yeah. So 2020 was the vision, and 2021 is where we finally actually realize it. So, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But actually, just on that note, you were talking about where you can hear it or maybe see it somewhere else. It's actually part of a song, a musical piece that my friend made outside of music. His album's just come out called Symmetry. And yeah, that piece itself is actually on the album itself. So yeah.
Sweet. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So next we have, I've not heard this person read a poem before, so I am excited and eager for Suad Mai.
Hi. Yeah. So I've never read online or to anyone before, but this is a recent poem. Thanks. Sorry, it's related to COVID. I don't want to put a downer on everyone's experience, but here it goes. How many times do I have to sign a petition to get these politicians to listen? Please stop the war. Please help the poor. Don't let the rich be so greedy. Why are they all so damn seedy? You see, the thing is, human beings are shit, and we know this ish. If COVID hasn't shown you this, then wipe those rose-tinted glasses and see the world for what it is. Look around and feel the hit. And even if you know this ish, there will always be something to remind you otherwise, that even though we are messed up, we hold on tight to the things we love and the people we trust, the ones we protect and love each day. The ones we pray won't go away, won't disappear, won't leave us long. the ones that distract us from that long, dreary COVID song, the COVID song to which we all sing along, or scream, or shout, or cry. But we are all a part of that song, the long, dreary COVID song that politicians love to turn up the volume for, dance to the beat while we're all stuck indoors. It's not a big deal. We are all kept safe. Just stay indoors and listen to what they say, is what I used to say. You see, the thing is, a whole year has gone by and not much has changed, except those rose-tinted glasses are becoming clearer by the day. We may listen, but they will not learn. These greedy, seedy politicians, only counting what they earn. Shall we sign another petition so they can listen? Stop commodifying our lives, demand justice for those who have died, because we will not turn a blind eye. Not now, not tonight. That's it.
Speak the truth.
Yeah, Salome.
Amazing.
Stand up and pay attention. God
Yeah, girl.
damn.
Thank you very much. First
Tell
time.
those seedy politicians, tell them again and again and again.
Yeah, I mean, for one, thanks for, this is your first time reading online. So thanks for coming here. And that was a lovely poem. I like how you're addressing an issue that everyone is going through. Like, you don't need to apologize for that, because, I mean, I don't know if there's anybody here that is not going through the blues of COVID, and which is just a basic part, and then some people are going through, like, it's actually hitting them, or some people are falling ill, and so everyone is experiencing this whole situation now. And yeah, your words really meant a lot. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks. And thank you for letting me speak as well.
You're welcome.
Anytime, you're part of the family now, remember.
Next we have Revolt Poet. Take it away. I've seen him do his thing, and
Yeah, you've seen me do a couple of things before. I'm going to do something a little bit different, actually.
Okay, all right.
This is the first piece that I wrote this year, and it's not really in the tone that most people would necessarily expect. Can everyone hear me okay? Yeah, is the sound okay? Yeah, cool. So this piece is called The Fixer. Today was certainly one of those days. Those days where the world seems too large a place and the mind gets wandering to past mistakes, like the chaos that was caused when you told him to cheat on Case. How many lives of your actions irreparably caused to break? Is it any wonder that 4 years disappeared without a trace? And lately all you can do is ruminate on broken promises of the fires left in your wake. You always wanted my friend to be an earthquake, and I suppose you were in the devastating way. Because the soundtracks to your memories haze, it's Coldplay. Like that time on Vicky Park where Bage told you he'd reached the conclusion he was in love with Kate, where Violet Hill played. If you love me, won't you let me know? A mantra you couldn't escape. Because whilst you learned from an early age that the tears come streaming down your face, there was never a lyric to describe the course of action to take when she says, I never cry, and when asked why, she can't quantify. But you remain. And I learned from elsewhere that I might regret it if I never took the time to learn how to save a life. Or to stay up with you all night, regardless of the effect on my mind. I didn't mind. Yet I've grown so tired. But I can't sleep. My intermittent will for suicide from time to time made me hate that perhaps you ever might give up the fight and end your life. But perhaps her voice is right, ringing in your ears with her narcissistic, selfish jibes. And you only care from your conceited side. The debate rages inside. Consistently, you self-gaslight because you genuinely believe there was no self-concern in your eyes. The truth, I don't know the answer. Just know I'm trying to keep everyone else alive. Because the truth is, the only ones deserving of a ride at death's side are those such as I, who led such callous lives and caused others to want to die. And together, I promise you tonight, we will sit until you're all right. The exhaustion may be crippling from all the hours I'm putting in and the emotional energy I'm expending. But right now, to keep going, you need me to pay my penance, and I need to be secondary. And please don't think this is hyperbole. It's just that my desires are merely undeserved on the balance of probabilities. It's entirely logic, honestly. Plus, being helpful allows me temporarily to be steady. See, I'm always able to analyze the signals most don't see because I'm adept at concealing them in me. The lie is the only truth I'll leave when my body's burned, is smoked and breathed into the atmosphere. A sweet release among the clouds where I can dream, and I'll be free of the constant cries of dead baby screams. Yet to you, I present as complete. My thoughts and fears remain a mystery, but with you I can distill pain, devising strategy. I will hold your wrists until they no longer bleed. I will hold your heart until it regains its beat. I will kiss your head with love and I will not leave. I will be whatever you want. No, I will be whatever you need. I will take your crucifix in the burning heat. I will walk with your load until the skin rips from my feet. And all those memories, hopefully, they will be the conversation to some I leave if this latest bout of living hedonistically consumes me. Or I again enslave myself to my addictions willfully. For like the hours of the day, I allow the clock to lead. I will save you. My vow, my burden, my plea. And if you feel alone when reading this, please know that lights will guide you home and ignite your bones. And I will try to fix you. But who fixes me? Cheers.
Wow.
Yo,
Oh my
Revo, that was set
gosh.
out, bro.
Yes.
That last
Ashley,
line,
thank
like
you for
sucker punch, man.
Bro, that was dope.
Who will
Bro.
fix me? Wow. Wow.
Thanks. Okay, yeah, like you said, it was different from your other pieces I've seen, but yeah, I always love it when poets go back to writing poems about love and emotions like that. It's almost you can feel how we always try to run away from being that vulnerable, and it just pours out in the poetry, and everyone could see that in your poem today. It was really touching. Thanks for sharing that. When did you write it, and why, if you don't mind us asking?
No, not at all. It's weird. I wrote what I considered to be probably the best piece I ever wrote on New Year's Eve.
Okay, yeah.
And then what proceeded to happen was I spent 2 days in bed from a major mental health crash. And the only thing that I could write was just this. And I was sitting there thinking through loads of memories, and I was like, and I'm like, I like my punk music, I like my hip hop music, but it wasn't that. Whenever I thought of a memory, it was like cheese pop. And that was all that came out. And, if it comes out in the midst of 2 days in bed, I considered that was as true as I was going to be.
Yep, true. Thanks.
That's it.
That's really cool. Thanks for sharing that. So next we have Poison Quill writing. Take it away.
Hi, what a piece to follow. Thanks, Ashley. No, that was an amazing piece. I'm really glad you shared that one. It was fantastic. But yeah, so mine is kind of different vein. It's called When Will It End? When will it end? The killing of another. For their religion, beliefs, who they love and their colour. For the fact that they're different to you. I've asked once before, do you think they bleed black and you bleed blue? How is it that it's hate, not love, that we seem to defend? Every day is more violence, more blood and more death, with the people in charge screaming for war. Homes and lives destroyed, but still they want more. They say teach love, but war is what's taught, with those who stand for peace often left distraught, wondering if tomorrow they'll take the last breath. We kill the earth with our violence and greed, the ground poisoned with the blood of the fallen, the air polluted with the freedom we've stolen. The world is crying from our hate of each other, but instead of listening, we continue to smother the earth, those in need, our sisters and brothers, as we sit back and watch as they all slowly bleed. And a protester stands up and is shot to the ground, whereas a rapist is welcome with arms open wide because the colour of his skin means he's on the right side. But a refugee child is left alone to die with pictures showing off his skin and bone, and it's only when they're one of our own that we pick up the phone and donate to the cause, then show the world that we care by becoming a clone, by sharing on social media that we donated £1. We're right is screamed from all sides, but no one will listen to what the others have to say. Instead, they keep shouting, bringing closer doomsday, when what we need to do is to sit and to listen, and to open our mind to the fact that mankind was not designed to be confined or defined, that instead of throwing bombs and building walls, we should be tearing down the divides. How is it that kids are learning to throw acid on another? That the answer to something you don't like is a shot from a gun, that instead of trying, we drop a bomb and think that we're done, that religion is dictating what's right and what's wrong, that just because someone's in power, they think it's where they belong. How is it okay that we just kill each other? We need to work together and start to mend what we've done to the world before it's too late, to teach love and acceptance, not distrust and more hate, because the way that we're going, there'll be nothing left except for hate, blood and violence, and more death and more death. I don't know if you can tell me, but when will it end?
Actual goosebumps. The rapist line was insane.
Jeez and peas. Wow.
Why did you have an expression like that? Jeez and
Akor, welcome to London vernacular.
Thank you for sharing that. It was, yeah. I mean, a lot of poems today have touched on almost the same issue, from children to just the ills that we have. That just the way the world is seemingly twisted, right? But thank you for sharing that.
The worst part is I wrote that in 2016 and
still relevant.
Nothing's changed.
Yeah.
Like it shouldn't be relevant anymore. It just shouldn't be.
True.
But it is.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Now we will have a taste of our headliner, Special K. I heard her in the last show, and her work is amazing. And I just want everyone to pay attention to her work and follow her and, collaborate with her and everything in between. So take it away.
Thank you. Speaking of collaborating, can you also unmute Rohan, please?
Hey, B, I'm here.
All right. Wow. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love is slow to anger. Love is passion. Kisses stolen in the moonlight. Love makes everything wrong right. And I thought you were love. You were supposed to be the one who I could run to. You said you would take the reins and lead me to the place where my hopes and dreams leaped out of my head and became living things. Instead, I look around and see all has deteriorated and been slain by your hand. I want to come to you. I need our bodies to meld into one and rediscover the places where our love story first begun. But you are a fortress closed off to me. I thought you were love.
But you didn't check the fact that the walls of my fortress were being built by the bricks of your insecurities. stifling my passion and depleting my love for you because you wanted me to hold you down when I wanted us to fly. You say our love was slain by my hands, but those reins we use to dominatrix each other serves as your purpose to dominate my decision in life. I thought love was out of the box, boxed in by Disney. You were my princess, a fairy tale with a fairy tale figure. Those dreams that leapt out of your head became my nightmares. So do you see why I had to put up them dream catchers?
Dream catchers? We were supposed to be dream chasers, but you made me this fabled prisoner, renamed me princess, gave me glass slippers, and placed me in an unbreakable cage. Of course it seemed as if I were insecure. I had no idea how to survive in that skyless contraption you kept me in and called home. We were supposed to mount up with wings like eagles and soar. With you, love was supposed to thrive. You say I dominated your decisions, but all I ever wanted was to be front and center in the forefront of your thoughts, no matter where you were or what you were doing. I wanted you to rush back to me like rivers return to their oceans and know that I would vanquish you. In much the same way that water satisfies thirst. But all your preconceived notions have come first, leaving me in the desert without a map to find my way back. You were supposed to be love.
How could you say I was supposed to be love? When I gave all my love to you and kept none for myself, that same map you wanted was the same map I hid my treasures in. I had to thoroughly explore on my way through every argument and tear shed, and and now you want to be the X that marks the spot. Let your rivers run. In fact, cry me a river, because the only time you let your banks burst was when you wanted to show me TLC, yet my tears were the one chasing waterfalls. You were never a princess. You were a queen to me. So quit with your Disney princess talk, because there are flaws to every fable. We were supposed to grow tall, not be tall tales. And I don't know how this will flipping end like heads or tails. I wanted to thrive with you. Shit. I wanted to die for you. But now you want to cross me out of this story. Like we never created any tales, but that book is shut. Looks like we're writing our own chapters from now on.
Look, I can't do this back and forth with you anymore. And I am tired of being the author of half-assed unfinished stories, but because your name is written in the stars of my eyes and my heart is anchored to the sails of your heart, I'm willing to change professions and become an architect, but only if this is a true partnership and we build this empire together. But babe, before we sign any contracts, I need to know, are you love?
Look, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I cannot go back. I can only go forth. This forward movement you want from me can only go forth if we're in the same place. You keep asking me, am I in love? You know the answer to that. So when you change your profession, just remember the employee you employ to make this partnership thrive. It's not just business as usual. I know this place we're in is unusual. So let me take the rubble of every fortress of insecurity I knock down, and we can build an empire of empires. My last name, we can share it and make that the crown. I laid the anchor down, I parked the ship. I don't need to set sail. Do you really know if I'm in love? Well, tell me. Have I answered it now? I want a partnership, not partnership. So can we move together
in love?
That's us, bro.
Meh.
Wow.
He did the one.
Jeez.
Partnership, not partnership. Whoa.
Yeah, partnership.
That was good. That was like, I have questions and I think I already have the answers for like, it's obvious what inspired such a poem. is this the first collaboration both of you have had?
With each other, yes.
Yeah, how did you work on this? What was your process?
Well, I was like, I want to do a piece with you, and this is what we're gonna do. And so we used Instagram, and I think we got on Zoom one time, and that was it.
Nice.
We just went back and forth with the verses, and it was like I was just like, Special K would send me a verse, and I'd be like, and it just inspired me, and I just started writing, and this is what you get.
Your theatre, you know.
Oh my gosh! Because I did my hair today. That's why I'm feeling vibrant.
All right, that's cool. But thanks. That was a very lovely piece. I like the way you worked from just affection to an argument and back to a conclusion. Like the whole path to a seemingly healthy relationship that has learned to work its way through the issues and come out the other side. Thanks. You have one more piece to do before the break, or?
I do.
Okay.
America, God shed his grace on thee and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. But America, I feel thou hast forgotten about me. From slavery to the separation, no, I mean the destruction of the Black family, to the created and portrayed imagery that only my people live in poverty. America, where is this brotherly love one of your original cities boast about? Or is that something only white men in white robes are allowed to dwell in? America, God meant thine every flaw, confirm thy soul in self-control, thy liberty in love. But America, I feel like I am the only one flawed, and you have taken it upon yourself to mend them, laying waste to my brethren, their lifeless eyes staring upward toward heaven, the streets soaked in their blood while the pavement still echoes the reverberation. Stop! Hands in the air, don't move! Bang, bang, bang. Oops, I did it again. America, the police have become a vigilante. They have decreed themselves to be the lawmen of this country, as well as the deciding factor in who gets life, liberty, or death unto thee. America, may God thy gold refine, till all success be nobleness, and every gain divine. But America, your riches have been obtained in all ways unmoral, unethical, and unjust. You stole from Africa and every other country along the way until there was practically nothing left. And you have forced those who suffered at your plundering to bow and call you king. Where is the nobleness in that? And from that day to this one, divine has not been the name of every gain for a people who look like me. Each step forward has been riddled in strife, struggle, oppression, and much, much worse. America, God shed his grace on thee and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. But America, you have forgotten the grace bestowed upon your broad shoulders, and your memory seems to fade when it comes time to admit that without the backs of slaves, you would have never made it to this great stage. America, when will you open your eyes and stop pretending to be blind to all that which is negative inside of you? America, when will you demand? No. America, when will you decree? No. America, when will you issue justice for all of us? Only then shall we truly be free. Only then can we stand in unity on this, our home, sweet homeland. America, God shed his grace on thee and from thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. America, I want to see my son and my 7-year-old nephew make it to 21. America, my Black son and my Black 7-year-old nephew matter to me. America, when will we matter to thee?
Wow.
Wow, indeed. Wow.
I think everyone's speechless.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, that's all I can say. Thank you for sharing that. That was timely and very strong. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so we'll take a 10-minute break now, and when we get back, we have a couple of poets. We have Zara, we have Tish, Azelle, Brooklyn, Yvette, Josh, and we'll have more from Special K. So let's just take a 10-minute break, and we'll be back.
Yo, what happened to my screen?
And you're listening to the sounds of Miss Yankee Want from her new EP, Shadow Work in the Waters. Welcome to BYOB Radio.
I want to write something that breaks the ground on which you walk and shatters the illusions that you have sown into the fabric. Trust enough to see beyond the limitations. I want us to peel back every layer of armor and lay together so peacefully that peace ensues. I want you to remember who you are with me. I want you to step into your divine power and use the electricity of your being to reconnect to mine. I want time to unfold so purposefully that these encapsulated memories capture our senses and bring us back to now. I want to love you lucidly. My stream of green running clean into your fourth. I want you to know that there is more than power in my talk and chaos in my trilogy of thoughts. I want you to know that I love you. I want you to know that I'm sure. I want you to figure out the formula of our trigonometry. If you can find the missing angles, then maybe we could go the distance. Simple maths. If you truly understand the worth of my divine, then you'll know that I can't cosine sin. Listen, this tangent is the longest line. The angle's right, my opposite. I want you to get lost in it, the geometry of sacred magic. I want to manifest our mighty musings, writing spells with curves and lines combined. I want you to speak freely. Your crystal thoughts are precious stones which I seek to find and bathe in beams of lunar light. I want to charge every crystal from the depths of your mind so that they may heal the hurt. I want you to know what you're worth. I want you to know I'm not her. I want you to be worth the wait. I want you to want this to work. I want you to believe that you are more than good enough for me, then act accordingly. I want you to never get bored of me, of us, of this. I want this to be more than just a wasted wish. I wish we had better role models, less luggage, more courage. I wish we hadn't let this languish. I wish we spoke each other's language. I wish we both understood exactly what love is. I wish that I didn't want when I know that I want gets absolutely nothing. I'm wishing and wanting and waiting and longing for someone or somewhere or someday or something. I know that I'm waiting for nothing, but I'm still wishing and wanting and longing for someone or somewhere or someday or something.
And you are listening to the sounds of BYOB Radio. That was Miss Yankee Want from her new album Shadow Work in the Waters. And now, a prayer. AMD speaks.
I pray you kill your suicidal tendencies. I pray your friends are still your friends who carry the same energy when outside of your periphery. I pray you find focus and peace through your piety. I pray you raise and elevate to your true being after falling to your knees. I pray you see your amazing grace. I pray you see the Elohim in your image when you look into the mirror and see your face. I pray you have better days, and that you stop chasing validation from others while learning to set your own pace. I pray your healing grows out of its infancy, that your roots are strengthened and won't be asphyxiated by vines of gossip and cruelty. I pray you shed old leaves, that your concrete jungle blooms a money tree, so you will never again know the wintry cold of poverty. I pray you find a place for the pain. I pray you no longer long for those from who you are now estranged. I pray for sunshine for the rest of your days, but that you arrive in a place where you can appreciate the flower in you could never have grown without the rain. I pray you arrive in a place where you won't always take this life so seriously and are able to see the beauty that exists simultaneously with these tragedies. I pray you receive empathy, that others know your condition is not a fallacy, because the truth is that one day it could easily be any of them, as easily as it could have been me.
A prayer for better days, a prayer for better ways, to find good peace, good state of mind. So let's uplift each other now. We've swayed in different ways, but it's time for better days. So here's a prayer for you and I. So let's uplift each other now. Let's uplift each other now.
You are listening to the sounds of AMD Speaks, a prayer. AMD Speaks, of course, a former headliner of BYOB back in February. You are listening to BYOB Radio. We are currently on a break. Up next, the sounds of Sarah Callahan. Dreams, from her new EP, the Alphabet EP. Sarah Callahan is also a previous headliner.
D is for dreams. Hearts filled with electricity like lightning bolts hitting sand. Dangerous but delightful. Some deep-rooted. Others are epiphanies that burst into brains as dawn breaks and we frantically feel for our phones to write it down so we don't forget. Dewy-eyed, some depict a past that we do not want to relive, leaving us feeling delicate. But we cannot control the details. Nightmares can deceive us too. D stands for determination. Although direction might change, it stays direct, always leading us to that divine light. Be devoted. What do you desire? I dance to different disciplines trying to find my purpose. My mind is a boat that I'm constantly trying to not let sink into the darkness. A boat with a hole dripping in stages. I drift off to sea blindfolded but not delusional. Pressure makes diamonds. You develop stronger from these journeys. Discover what makes you tick. Don't let detachment influence your destiny. It's yours to keep. You are deserving. You are so deserving. Together we must drive each other forward, define the odds to push through this dimension. Drop the defense, breathe and dig deep. What do you depend on? It's all there for you to discover. The map is laid out and we are born with the tools to get to any destination we choose. D is for dreams, so let's dare to be different.
Former headliner Sarah Callahan with Dreams. From her new EP, the Alphabet EP.
The dreams don't go, darling, it's never too late. Darling, it's never too late. Seasons come, the dreams don't go, darling, it's never too late. Darling, it's never too late.
We absolutely love the opportunity to share with you the latest from the spoken word scene. Absolutely delighted that the last two were previous headliners. Up next, and our last song, Over Yuki, 4:59. This is BYOB Radio. Back after this.
My world is no longer colourful in its disconcerted season. The skies are grey, no longer electric blue. You lied, you lied. I'm as free as the homeless butterfly with clipped wings. Earthly oppressions have clipped my wings. Darkness covers my eyes and gloominess desires to outshine the light, uprooting the castles I built in the sky. So, pour a reservoir of liquor into these scars. Grind up the greenest herbs on the earth, roll it with these deadly memories and light this cigar. My mind is trapped behind intangible metal bars. I'm short-sighted, longing on the yonder side, stretching far too far. The wind is blowing vicious kisses on my window pane and the weather sounds bizarre. New day, new thoughts, but I'm still situated in this familiar, desolate land with no rain, living to die. Same toil with no significant gain. Last night I didn't have enough time to sleep my problems away. A skeptic towards magic, but I want to rub on a bottle and receive a genie like Aladdin. 3 wishes could lead me away from this turbulent state. Blurred visions multiplied might give me a smile so bright like the sun. And so I may start this day with some white rum. Do you ever wake up wanting more? I'm staring up at the ceiling trying to reach the stars as these thoughts cloud my vision at 4:59. 4:59? Oh shit. Is that the time?
If I
die tomorrow, yesterday. You niggas ain't give a fuck. Stop trying to gas.
I guess we have time for one more one more song before we get started. Or we don't. Back to our regularly scheduled program. Akor, take it away.
Welcome back to BYOB. It's a pleasure to have you here. Wait, where's my hat? Hold up. Wait a minute. I got this. That's right. Now we're ready. All right, cool. So it's a pleasure to have you back. We're sponsored by Brent 2020, the Borough of Culture, and it's been a pleasure working with them all through the whole last year. When we started with them, it was initially supposed to be live shows, and then 2020 happened, and we decided to. We spoke with them, and the conclusion was like we should carry on online, and with that, we've been able to a certain degree, pay some of our headliners or all of our headliners. It hasn't been commensurate to the work they've done because the amount of work poets put into their work is immense, but it's been a token of appreciation of how much they've done and how their work has been. And it's been good to see the Brent Borough of Culture supporting artists and creatives in London and around the world. So next, we have someone, I think I've seen her live a couple of times, both online maybe, and the live show. And so we welcome Zara Writes Poems to the mic or stage or screen.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much for having me. Can you hear me okay?
They can hear you fine, yeah?
Yep, excellent, cool. I'm super nervous, so please be patient with me. Just a quick shout out to my little brother and my family who are watching, I think. And also tomorrow is my best friend's 26th birthday. So happy birthday to Holly. Okay, I'm gonna go straight in. I wrote this a few days ago and it doesn't have a name, so. Okay. Somehow she found her own space, fumbling through love and loss, drenched in waters so unkind, trauma's scars deep and unyielding. My eyes are as wide and as bright as the room in which I sit. I sit among all that I have acquired. I sit among all that I am. I sit among resilience. I sit among truth. I sit among a harsh reality. I sit among bravery. I sit among choices, the hardest I have ever made. I sit and I choose life. I choose a life away from pain, trauma's scars deep and unyielding. Each breath I take is doused in hope. My lungs fill with fear and uncertainty. Each morning I try again. Trauma's scars deep and unyielding. Music is the safe corner of my mind where I can allow sweet sounds to soak through my skin, pause my anxious trembling. Melodies touch my soul with an affection I have only known myself to feel from my mother's embrace. Trauma's scars, deep and unyielding. My favorite bands are my best friends. I hum along to infectious rhythms, dizzying guitar solos, repetitive drum beats, melancholic vocals cry, love of my life gone forever, love of my life gone for good. Right now I'm just a volcano on the brink of eruption, And with each verse she hears, she thinks only of corruption, haunting her tormented soul, corruption of man, his hand which just moments ago caressed her skin, is doused in sin and cruelty, trauma's scars, deep and unyielding. She must free herself from the clutches of the corrupt. She must walk long strides in the direction of the untouched, guided by the Almighty's light, rebuild a world which cannot be shattered by the actions of men, fragile, paper-thin boys, as brittle as their stories, as weak as their defense. She will no longer sit on the fence. She must choose the path of goodness. She must choose a future for herself. She rebuilds her shattered home with each sunrise that passes. The all-knowing creates day and night, and she journeys through high tides. She is afraid of drowning under waters so unkind, but she puts the kettle on. She pours too many spoonfuls of sugar in her cup, and she sips day and night tentatively. Each breath she takes is doused in hope. She exhales in the empty space, in the silence that surrounds her. Trauma's scars stare back at her, deep and unyielding. Somehow in the mess that has endured, she found her own space, fumbling through love and loss, drenched in waters so unkind, trauma's scars, deep and unyielding. Thank you very much.
Come on.
Volcano, yes.
Yo. Set the pace.
So what we come to expect from Mariam.
I like the fact that the refrain, the trauma scars deep and unyielding. It's very true. Or like unquestionably true. Well, almost unquestionably true. And yeah, you gave emphasis to that over and over again. Why was that?
So I'm kind of coming out like on the other side of quite a traumatic episode in my personal life, and so it's been quite a long journey for me, and I just wanted to write about kind of the progress I've made, and also the kind of the experience of just pushing on and, you know, getting through each day, and, you know, just, you know, if the only solace you find is making yourself a cup of tea with like 3 sugars, they're like, that's fine. So yeah, it was just about that. And also there was a reference to my favorite band, the Front Bottoms, if anyone knows them. So the line about the love of my life gone forever, love of my life gone for good, that's actually a kind of the chorus of one of their best songs. Yeah. So I tried to weave that in as well. So I found that music and friendship and faith and spirituality and family are like the pillars which have kind of helped me a lot this year. So yeah.
Thank you. There was a line, I think you said my favorite bands are my best friends or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
What band is that?
So I really love music, and I play drums as well. I play the drum kit. So I've always found music to be like a really like a safe space and something I can just kind of go into like a space where I kind of drown out the noise of my anxiety and drown out the kind of negative spirals. So yeah, I found that really, really helpful. If you want to find me on Instagram, it's Zahra Writes Poems, Zahra Writes Poems.
All right.
Shameless plug.
Here we go. Thank you very much for joining us and for sharing that. I've heard, I think this will be the 3rd or 4th time I'm hearing you read poems, and I really like your work. So thanks, and I really hope you come back a lot more, and hopefully.
Thanks so much. Pleasure.
Together. All right. So the next poet we have is all the way from San Francisco. That's where you have the Golden Gate Bridge, right?
Akor. There has been a change to the regularly scheduled program. So Dane will be performing later, but before him will be Tish. Sorry, they've just messaged me now. So yeah, sorry.
Thank you. Thank you. Hope that's all right, guys. Okay, this is called Stand Still. And this was written on the 7th. after the storm at the Capitol Hill, you know, in the United States. There's a time to stand still and a time to run. Watch me, grandchild son, listen to these words because I know when to run. I feel every black heart beat, slave feet running in the standstill, becoming still, being still. Stand still, brushing my hair. Afro sister, mother's care. Easy days, comparisons, easy. Stand still. Black youth all answer at once through his young mouth. Chill, nanny, nothing gonna happen. Streets they know stood in Nikes, mobiles in hand, man's them. I feel Babylon and Ku Klux Klan. Triple threat of Triple K, patterns in shadow lynch, history car reverse, pulling up a ride to put air in tires, pressure youth in spread and position. Masked up, freedom bound, hogtied, chilled side, stand still. You watch me, I'm cooking here, dishing up fried chicken and advice. His young mouth gotta make no sound, no grandma if you lying on the ground. Don't answer back, see that makes it worse. You want to watch this with, you want this with Frank's hot sauce? Pass me that standstill cloth. I imagine bandaged shroud on my knees, wailing over him. And every birthday balloon, ice cream scooped, dished up rice, roti aki, coconut curry, barbecue rib, Trini boy bake. Chicken, fried, stewed, spice, bake. None left on his plate, none left on his plate. Looking at his cold feet that ran. Stand still, stand still, stand still. Thank you.
Wow.
Crazy, crazy.
Right, Rohan, you like?
Yes,
I'm gassed.
Okay, right.
Yeah, thank you for that. It was such a good poem.
Thank you. And I just had a little mini run. And I've been offline chasing to get the boy back home. Okay, so it's a real standstill.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that. And I'm glad you could join us. All right, so our next poet is Hazel.
Hey, everyone. Yeah, sorry. Oh, I'm staring at myself. Okay. That's fine. Yeah, so my name's Hazel. I have a piece called Fifth Trigger. Trigger warning, this is a heavy piece speaking out on the sexual assault and rape of women and contains some very heavy statistics which should not have to be the statistics they are. So if you're finding it difficult, please pop out for 4 minutes and then come back in. Thank you. Let me take these off. This is Fifth Trigger. I count the number of times I'll die using the finger that pulls the trigger, and the number of times a part of me has died, tracing scars as I cry, not able to deny that no matter how high I climb, a part of me I can no longer find has been left behind, left with every man who decided to steal it from me. One finger pulls the trigger. One finger lingers and tries to tentatively love parts of me which were never tenderly touched. One finger wipes tears from my eyes, begs them to dry. One finger strokes an arm cut by mental scars. One finger curls and forms a fist for 1/5. One whole hand clamps her mouth, holding screams, shattered dreams. One blade to rescue me from everything I have the potential to be. But how do I turn sexual assault and rape into poetry? How do we change the narrative of drunken mistakes? The look in her eye, she came back to mine. She likes it rough. She didn't say no, not a word spoken when I dropped her home. We stopped speaking. We grew apart. I always knew she was a bit of a tart. Excusing behaviours inherently wrong. How has this been allowed to continue for so long? Panic-filled. Innocence killed, darkened corners of darkened rooms, non-consensually consumed, memories flurry, chase and hurry, the screams in her bed, the sheets which bled, the 12-year-old who now still wets the bed. Frustration shatters self, declining mental health, Fragmented mental trapped in a cage, pen cuts deep, bleeding words on the page, but we excuse assault in such simplistic ways. Pain, cold, control takes hold like your hand on my thigh. I whisper, why? Time stands still. Seconds feel like years, pleads for mercy, missing deafened ears or staring at the sky. I cry one tear. In only 1.4% of cases will you ever be judged, and even then sentence unjust. Biblically grounded truths in untitled psalms, calm found in finality. Half of female suicidality committed by women raped, abused, misused. Show me, who are we really protecting? I cannot forgive. I cannot forget. I live, I'm not alive. See, I died tied down to regret in your bed. That wasn't the plan. I knew this man. In 93% of childhood sexual abuse cases, kids are used for sexual gratification by members of their lives who regularly face them. And it's not solely women. When we admit men defiled as kids are 1 in 6, girls before they can be labelled whores 1 in 4, 12.3% of women raped are younger than 6. Babies, kids. Flip a coin to discover if the predator is related by blood. They say sexual abuse by men doesn't make up the world, but 96% of abusers of children are male. 76% of those are married. Over 3/4 of predators, adults. Choke on facts instead of fears. Open your eyes and see. What do you mean you don't believe that he took this from me? And maybe I'll put it about. Because what I give they can't take, because a whore can't be raped. I won't wait 7 years for my skin to be replaced. I inflict pain again and again and again and again and again. And every man I bed hurts in different ways. I don't want you to stay in my head, between my legs, your breath on my neck. Keep it in check, keep it in check, keep it in check. I want to go home. Please leave me alone. Death-defying screams stream down, tears mixed with my blood and his sweat. I didn't say no. That does not mean a yes. Consent taken before given. I'm killed yet still living. One of too many, forced entry broken, not gained, searing pain. Love was never supposed to hurt like this. Self-harm, a source of calm, not just cuts on my arm. Slices on my leg from situations I'd regret, a rape I deserved. You heard correct. I spoke out the words trapped in the heads of a society which questions the intent of the victims rather than that of the dicks that were in them. Repulsion found in reactions rather than the action itself. Links drawn from childhood to the woman trapped as innocence falls like skirts to the ground. She should never have flirted with the danger she found. But what could have saved her? One finger pulls the trigger. One finger lingers and tries to tentatively love parts of me which were never tenderly touched. One finger wipes tears from my eyes, begs them to dry. One finger strokes an arm cut by mental scars. One finger curls and forms a fist for 1/5. One of these defiled. 3.4 million in their adult lives, 85,000 every year here. Rape decriminalized by declining prosecution. Those speaking out on their attacks likened to prostitution. Save our women. Fight till the end. Statistically, one more rape from this beginning till this end. Thank you.
Yo!
That was heavy. That was
Always
heavy.
bring the heavy shit.
That was
I love
intense.
Unfortunately, you know, they are statistics which are very much true to this present day. They should not be the statistics they are. The reason, sort of one of the main factors to why I wrote this piece is that I am disgusted at the grey area there seems to be when it comes to accepting that a woman that has been raped or sexually assaulted is a is actually a victim. Victim blaming is a real thing, but where is the line? You know, a woman that's 40, 30, 20, 18, wearing the wrong thing in the wrong place shouldn't have led somebody on. What about 16, 14, 13, or the 12.3% of women who are raped age 6 and under, where there shouldn't be a grey area? A victim is a victim, and somebody who has been raped or sexually assaulted is never at fault, regardless of what the circumstances are. That's me. I'll keep it brief because we're on to the next person. You can follow me at Zelsan, Zelhsan, or the event I run, Shits and Scribbles, which is at Shits and Scribbles with an X instead of the I in Shits. And thank you so much to Abdullah and Akor for the platform.
Thanks for sharing.
Much love. Thank you.
Okay, so we'll move to the next poet now, which is Brooklyn.
Yo, what's going on? You right, yeah? Shall I just crack on? I think last year was a bit of a horror, so I'm hoping that this year will be a bit of a romance. So if you see the little link here, then you'll know where we're going. All right. Tell me where your pain begins. Put your hand in mine and together we can find the end of it. Let me know the stories behind your scars. Tell me as if it was a comedy. You've came so far that you now laugh at the situation you left in the past. But please tell me your future as if it was a movie of true romance. Wait, I'll grab my notebook. Or am I doing too much after such a brief encounter? It's just I'm staring at a pretty woman thinking, how can you be so crazy beautiful? I guess I'm just a Romeo looking at his Juliet. But do tell me what goes on behind those beautiful eyes that go deeper than the Titanic. Let me be your savior. I promise I truly believe this love will have no ending. This won't be like the others, so tragic. We won't go adrift. I won't have it. I'll put me before you. I mean, you before me, and create us a safe haven. Let me protect your mind, body, and soul. I'll do the things the boys you loved before didn't know how. It's about time. You forget about them. They've gone with the wind. All you got to do is have enough faith and love to let me in. Save me the last dance. Put your arms around me, nestle into my chest as we sway to the beat of our hearts as they become one. Let's dance for a lifetime. We may bump heads, step on each other's toes as we bask in the rhythm of love. Let's dance classy. Actually, let's dance dirty. However we do it, don't let go of my hand. There's only 365 days in a year, so explain how you make me feel like 500 days of summer in 30 seconds, let alone 24 hours. They say catch flights, not feelings, but have you ever met someone that when you catch eyes, the butterflies take flight? That's the butterfly effect. I don't have to go back in time to relive the first feeling, as that first feeling restarts every time you blink. And that goes beyond the theory of everything, as this needs more than scientists, spiritualists, to explain why this feels more than love, actually. And that's it.
Yeah. Clever.
That was hard. It was hard going.
Come on.
I love your work.
Sweat on that one. It's first one of the year. So,
I mean, I gotta ask, who is he about? What inspired the poem?
What? Like I said, like last year was a horror movie, weren't it? So let's put some romance. So I just thought I started off with something, and I thought, oh, you know what I can try and do is just try and like see all the romance films, and then just put them all in and like make it, yeah.
Okay.
And who knows what happened this year, eh? Who knows?
All right. Thanks for sharing that, though. It's such a
Thank
lovely
you.
poem.
Thanks for having me.
So next, we're moving back to America, and we have a poet from the Big Apple. Yeah, that's New York. Let's welcome Yvette to the screen.
Hey guys. Yes, Bronx, New York. I just happened to be in the so I have a new piece I've been working on. Trigger warning. It's a really heavy piece. It touches on a lot of different things, so please take care of yourselves. Raindrops are falling on my head. Raindrops are falling on my head. Raindrops are falling on my head. And as each drop falls, I feel myself falling. crawling, while I attempt at walking rather than lying flat down face first. First, I'll fade into backgrounds that never needed new areas of gray shading. I'm calling, dear God, save me. But I'm steady, waiting, blue skies up here appealing. I'm feeling the pressure. This world will mess your head up. This world takes on personas disguised through Satan's eyes. And sometimes the biggest lies ain't that hard to find. Just look between your eyes and listen when I say the third is hard to find. But don't let these motherfuckers fuck your peace of mind up. I'll sit and unwind. I'll sit and take my time. I'm waiting and contemplating. I call it my tempo patience. I use my tempo patience. God said, baby girl, don't be forsaken. The path he has me taking is so fucking frustrating. I'm clapping in celebrations, but Christians, they call it praying. So I'm praying. God, I'm telling you, I need your saving. Healing done through loaded guns, discovering which one I will become. With each shot held to my head just for fun, I'll play some Russian roulette. Some people have expressed they knew me at my best, holding precision close to my chest. The same people who exclaimed their proclaimed belief of me, clenched onto their idea of false fame superiority. So bowing to the wrong God became a second nature necessity. Coincidentally, levels of spirituality met my mentality, fatality found through fragmented finality, final breaths taken by the old me. Inhale, exhale slowly. Sound meditation triggering memories I will never forget. While I laid alone every night in what you would call our bed, while your love language would consist of my insecurities being fed, talks of how I deserved every time your hands found their home around my neck. Your hits would be meant to keep my lies in check. I swore I would never tarnish your name, but my sanity is worth more than your reputation stained, and through the pain I've gained, manipulation erupted, faulty communication, and without hesitation, you are a woman who convinced the world my lies were gold. And I have to admit, I shouldn't have broken trust with the lies I told. However, I remember vividly that night my body became so cold while you held me down, saying you better not fucking fold. And at this very moment, my soul was sold. While my tears would hold onto the sheets, hugging me as I clenched onto the pillow tightly. And the worst part was, you didn't even care about my agony, partly blaming my past mistakes for the outcome of this tragedy. While you were saying, I'm so sorry, but apologies are never enough. Final breaths taken through skin that is tough. Then I remembered how some people have told me this bed would be the same place I buried the old me. Within a room holding darkness close by its side, questions of my life began to coincide. God, why? Why have you detoured my destination's reality? Have I been the own root of my fatal causality? Suicidal angels fly while I stare at cloud nine. And they are tying hope to the ribboned messages of deception, inception held by fragile hearts which were once torn apart. God, you allowed me to turn my pain into art, so this is where I'll start. What could have saved me? Paved my way to success rather than trauma and tragedy. What could have given her life instead of taking it away? Day by day, heaven and hell now collaborate as her footsteps pace across wooden steps that have yet to break. Yvette, focus. It is your life that is at stake. She's climbed to the top of her mountain, to the top of her class, to the top of the ceiling to only hit glass. She's cried out to God for her very last, her last breath. Her last prayers held on by her chest. She will not give up as of yet. I will not give up as of yet. I will not give up as of yet. I will not give up. I will sustain, maintain, and obtain optimal levels of strength through 6 steps in vain. My lifeline calls this walking 6. She said walking 6 takes time. She said walking 6 can be the mirror image of finding ways to climb through high tides. I said on some days, it feels like all I have are 6 more steps until I collapse and die. 6 more seconds, I can feel myself slip, trip, quick. She said the trick is not to move too much when your tears are what soaks the quicksand, quick enough to bury you 6 feet under. 6 feet under, I'm salvaging whatever I have left. 6 steps to the right seemed only right, yet I left myself behind. 6 steps. Ironically enough, she only needed 7 to get to heaven. 7 more to get where she wanted, but that's not the way the world works, is it? It gives us what we need rather than what we want. what we shall achieve rather than what we think we see in our own destiny. So I took 6 more steps into my own being, and I learned how to manage my breath slowly. Inhale, exhale. I am queen. I repeat, I am queen. I am queen. And this queen has learned that the stump in her Garden of Eve can be grown into a tree surpassing heights of her physical entity, or even better, will be chopped and woven into a wooden empire matching ambitious desires that touch skyline sunsets. And while each sun sets, I will be setting tones for new days. Dusk to dawn, using failures as stepping stone carvings of art, allowing dictation to exemplify creation of my concrete jungle, cemented bricks followed by Taino tribal, creating ripples of my inner being rival, survival at its finest. I am my own competition. I am my own army. I am warrior. I am being. I am queen. I repeat while I crawl into my own destiny. One step closer to my dreams. One step away from old tragedies. One step into trusting myself. One step away from the old me. One step into God's arms. And one step into completing an obstacle course of a lifetime. They say it takes a lifetime to understand God's message, hidden through written stories of untold metaphors. So God said they will call you a poet. God allowed challenges of my life to bestow it. I prayed and told God I am a poet, prophetically optimizing every time I touched a stage, power and rage taken from pain, gained, altered under the pressure, solidifying life's diamonds, engraving my tomb, my jeweled womb. Sometimes the shine is the hardest to find. Trapped light through hidden gems, stem from stitched up seams, seeming to hold on to old forms of old genes, holding firmly within my being, the dirt collected my skeleton perfectly. The shape of the old me fits absolutely adequately. Sunk her, drunk her in, buried her through hollow burrows deep enough to grasp the lifeless dirt I've compared myself to at first. I use one full hand to bury the old me alive, one finger to count for goodbyes, 2 fingers to level out love and unity, peace and peace from pieces of me that have been pieced together. 3 fingers counting for dreams within my favorite mathematical combination. 4 fingers for counting for angels I have surrounding me. And 5 to wait for my final goodbye. To a faded casket, baskets full of memories I've tried to erase. Goodbye to the old me. You are no longer suppressed within darkened memories. I send a kiss on your forehead for all you have done. I send a hug for all the love you've lost. I send a thank you for all the times you didn't receive one. And I send you off in this world knowing the new you is so much better than the people who knew you. And that's me, guys.
Yes. Fangirl moment right here.
Amazing.
I love that Hazel was there with you. I love it.
Yeah. It's like both of you just sat in the same room and just dropped 2 heavy poems like that.
Sorry, not sorry, guys.
Nah, man, it's nothing to apologize for. It's necessary in poetry. It's almost inevitable in poetry to have things that are that poignant. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh.
Thank you for listening. I appreciate you guys. You guys can follow me at Tinies_creations.
Yes.
So much love to BYOB. I appreciate you guys.
Much love. Much love.
All right, the next poet, I don't think I've heard him, is Josh Lonsdale.
Hello, nice to meet you. Virtually. Thank you for having me. This poem is a poem I've not read before or published online, so I'll see how it goes. And the title of the poem is The Last Line. I have burped out my tadpole children, flushed them before they've sprouted legs. I have spared them eyes and heartbeats, fingernails and frowns and personalities split by product of the fractured state of play that has long grown sick. This is the half lie by which I justify wanking into the face of a hard fate that all surplus males never outrun or graduate from the mass stampede to a prize that can only be won by one. It seems we are worms always in the mire, pullulating under the raised boot of an indecisive God. Looking down, I wonder what a God would make of me. turning myself inside out like a squid expunging venom, slamming the laptop shut, filling what I've hollowed with the familiar flood of shame, a constant bedfellow. Looking down through the microscope as an experimentalist over a petri dish observes what cultures give rise, I wonder what a God would make of ours. The parades in the light of day for equality and against misogyny, undermined by men in dark rooms, shaking hands, arthritically, like nervous dice throwers, course correcting their bodies with every stroke to interpret images of pain as sources of pleasure, rewiring the plastic brain collective to digest a smorgasbord of every fantasy and proclivity, gagging and choking, punching and fisting, rape and incest. That sex is no longer the expression of love, but the exchange of fluid and flesh. No dogs were ever trained better to chase their tails. Those boys who took their education online to discover at what rhythm and thrust does the human machine thrive best, only to learn nothing other than the anatomy of loneliness.
Oh!
Thank you.
The last line.
OMG.
That's amazing, bro.
Thank you.
That was
I really appreciate it.
That was so beautiful, Josh. Thanks so much for that.
That was lovely.
Thank you all. Thank you so much. It means the world to be here with you all as well. I really appreciate it, man.
Thanks. You had a line that said, what would our God think of us, or something like that?
Yeah, it's, I repeat it. What would a God make of me, and then what would a God make of ours when I talk about like our culture?
Yeah. Oh, thanks. That was good. That's it causes you to think a lot when your poetry does that. Thank you very much for sharing it.
Thank you so much. Yeah, cheers.
All right.
I appreciate it.
The next poet we have is from San Francisco, now Golden Gate. Yep. Let's welcome Dane.
Thank you. Don't normally say anything before I read my poems, but I think I do need to this evening because there's a little bit of discussion of victimhood and misappropriation for victimhood, and I'm really livid that Donald Trump has cheapened and elevated the charlatan charade of stealing the concept of victimhood and pretending to be a victim when he's anything but. So I have two pieces. Whine. You asshole. You cry and whine. You lost your shitty Ford factory job of 40 years across the border to Mexico. Not a single tear for families who were slaves for 400 years. I'm supposed to have sympathy for you when all you did was take? If you cannot learn to love, then sit down, shut up for fuck's sake. You are not the person to be angry, nor have any call at all to complain, you self-described victim of your own making with your puffy, proud, white privilege. Yes, the international corporations with their mighty dicks fucked you because of the way you dressed. Now you want my sympathy for your butthurt, rectum full of greedy cum. Stitch your bootstraps together. Gag yourself, maggot. No one wants to hear your crying. You benefited from the game. You benefited from the game. Just get right with Jesus. Your racism is a crying shame. Definition of Tragedy Wednesday. Got an itch like a witch. Drive my 47 Woody right into a ditch. My surfboard got a Brazilian wax. Now I cannot give the pipe a slip. It takes an act of Congress, lube, ass play, mushroom dick in a twist. He thinks dick for brains is good. A compliment, crushed, bliss, last a moment, then darkness, selfish to cry out in the face of your agony. Mine, this is about illicit. The fuck you get. The vote makes count, makes me pulse, lets me howl with righteous indignation like I'm the victim when I dick your ass. It's not fair. I'm the victim, can't you see? Please, please let me lick you with my lies. Watch oversensitization. The falling into sleep, you catch yourself, you startle up the stairs. I assure you, I will not leave you hurt. And if you yell, I will blame the democratic socialists with the bliss, your nipples leaking milk like Oklahoma Senator drawl. Okay, let me exhale. Let me catch my breath and see if I can take Marsha Blackburn's fist while shouting out America the Beautiful in the Capitol Rotunda, round and smooth. Ow! I give and take what you need, leave the rest. The general choo-choo chews the coup. Elmer's eats Elmer's glue, blows his Rocky Road load all over Senator Graham's freckled moon face like ass. Josh Hawley screams from the gallery floor. Irregardless, it's two a word, motherfucker. Poontang is delicious. Biscuits and gravy and cheesy grits. Romney runs up and down in poo-filled diapers. Stinky Winky give a kissy kiss. Moscow Mitch rips out his false teeth. Drooling goo, oh looky look. Government tits, I love baboon dicks. It's not wasted. A drama, tragic flaw, consequence, a literary work, or inability to cope. Moral weakness brought to ruin, extreme sorrow suffers. They know, but they need to do it anyway, in which the main character, especially with unfavorable circumstances, and so they do. Thank you.
Baboon dicks, you know.
Thank you for that. Yeah, it's crazy how the whole idea of victimhood has been taken over by, well, a lot of people have been using it to forward their own agenda, and your poetry just says a lot about that. So thanks for sharing that.
Thank you for the opportunity to do so. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So we'll go to the next poet now. And that will be our last poet before we get Special K back on. Can we have Rianne back on the stage?
Hey, thanks for having me back. It's a really, really quick one, this one, so everyone can get on with, and we can listen to Special K. Okay, this is called Sleeping with Insomnia. The clock ticks like it has Tourette's. Its face pressed up to mine in the darkness, its hands around my neck, its fingernails letting me know of their sharpness. Head reeling, another hour passes. I close my eyes tighter, trying to cut out the noise. Each thought a grain of sand in imagined hourglasses, the tiredness sticky, to my insides it cloys. Drugged and robbed of all my Z's, like a lord worthy of Colombia, Escobar's victim, Rohypnol teased. Am I cheating for sleeping with insomnia? That's it. Short one.
Oh, you're dangerous.
Okay, yeah, nice. I don't even know where to start my question from. Like, what inspired that?
Having insomnia.
That's what, but it's the way you've put it, it's like, yeah, obviously the paradox does stand out in it. Is it paradox? The idea of sleeping with insomnia, right? And why did you decide to write about it? I understand when we go through stuff, we have reasons that we want to write about it, but how has your writing of this piece affected your sleep pattern? Has it helped you resolve some things in it?
Yeah, I think I actually wrote it a night that I couldn't sleep. It was literally just reeling around in my head. And so, yeah, just had to get it out there.
Well,
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
thanks for coming. I'd love to have you again. All right, so we'll go to our headliner again. She has a couple more poems, and we've heard her poetry here a couple of times and twice today, and it's been fantastic. Just before that, again, I'd like to give a shout out to Brent 2020 for how they supported us in ensuring that we could do this, and we hope to continue doing this even after the Borough of Culture period ends, because there is a lot that has come from this. I mean, a lot of us here know each other because of just this online show, and this is very international. We've had over 6 or 7 people from different countries, and that's just amazing. So, yeah, thank you, Brent, for that, and I thank all of you for coming and making the community work and stay alive and grow. So, we invite Special K.
Thank you again. Trigger warning, this piece talks about rape. When I was 7 or 8, I met my abuser for the first time. He went from being a cousin I looked up to, like he was just the coolest guys, and I would have trailed after him anywhere. To asking me if I had any boyfriends, then patting the hard emptiness between his legs whilst asking if I wanted any. I learned then that there is no disinfectant strong enough to wash away his sweat. He said I was his favorite, and this was to be our secret. Then he took his fist to my chin in much the same way I'd seen my father do to his son time and again. He winked at me, and soon after that, he called me his pet. Lucky me to have been gifted a nickname. My family gushed at our closeness. Like, how great is it that he allows her to go anywhere he goes? And I guess the marionette strings that tethered me to his every whim were invisible. And he truly was the great magician he pretended to be behind closed doors with me. My abuser went to jail right around the time I turned 14, but I don't know why. And he didn't say goodbye. He just left me, and I felt abandoned. All this love I'd been convinced I was given had been taken away, and I was forced to live every day in misery, mourning the ache he forced my body to take in countless ways. Insert promiscuity here. With every meaningless thrust, I could see the anguish that had once been pounded into the submission of my tears on the face of my mom appear. Would it have been easier if I'd turned to drugs? Instead of needing to squeeze my legs in a tight hug around the hips of men I barely knew. Did she know I didn't know how to say no? My abuser came home from prison when I was 19, but he no longer wanted me, which that's fine, because by then I had replaced him with a husband. His face may have changed, but not the way he beat me or how he used me as his canvas to create masterpieces. But still, no one recognized that my life was tattered and in more than broken pieces. One day, I gathered just enough strength to carry what was left of me to the preacher men, and I begged him to send up a prayer to rid me of these demons. And, well, You know how that goes. No, not really. I don't think his prayers made it any further than my tears of shame. Yeah. And it's been years, and I've learned to produce glue and mend my own walls. Finally, I am walking tall, proud of the woman I have become at 41. Shit. My abuser called today. You know, just to see how I was doing and make sure I was okay. This is a total disaster. I shouldn't have answered the phone. After all, I'm grown now. Because I'm jumping at every sound, terrified that my abuser will come and once again become my master. You're welcome.
Yeah, I don't know what to say.
Well, I'm definitely not going to end on that. So,
yeah, but yeah, thank you for allowing yourself to be that vulnerable in front of us, allowing that poem to work its way through us and hopefully heal some people, whatever we're going through. So
absolutely. And last piece. Poetry is the way a woman snuggles into the spoon of a lover's embrace while she sleeps. It is the darkness that surrounds her, though she be in a room full of people. Poetry is oxygen, sustaining life, a releasing of carbon dioxide, its words flowing free, healing the damage and destruction from all these toxins she's been swallowing. It's the cure to what ails you, minus visits to the doctor, co-pays, and time wasted. Poetry is a road not paved in hate. It is goodness and mercy. It is grace, a table prepared before thine enemy. Poetry is fluid, a never-ending motion. Its depths deeper than any ocean. Poetry can handle all this emotion. It is love. It is anger. It is the green monster, the one-eyed, one-horned, purple people eater. Poetry is the ability to believe that one-eyed, one-horned, purple people eaters do exist. Poetry is this, a sweet blessedness that cannot be taken away, regardless of what anyone has to say. It is night turning into day, knowing morning won't last always. Dreariness, clouds, and tears, rain will fade, but poetry will remain. It is a safety net as you trapeze across the sky, daring you to explore limits beyond what you can see. Poetry is always asking why and never satisfied with the cautionary tales of others. Poetry is a mother rocking you to sleep and encouraging your dreams to become a reality. Poetry is a father. Well, damn. Perhaps that's something we don't always see. Or maybe it's a gift taken way too soon, and with its broad shoulders, we assume it to be strong enough to carry the weight of us in all our worlds, but that is just a presumption, cultivated and crafted by the thoughts of our imagination. Poetry is whatever you need it to be. It's a prostitute in the street with whom you can be free. Poetry is Jesus drawing all men unto thee from a hill called Calvary. Poetry is waking up to greet the dawn, unraveling from the covered cocoon. Poetry makes you weak in the knees and it'll have grown men swoon. Poetry is your baby mama's cousin's best friend's dad on your daddy's side. You know the one. It'll spread you wide open, then turn around and give you a place to hide. Poetry is addiction. It'll have you fiending for snaps and claps, always taking you back to your first time. Poetry is yours. Poetry is mine. It is ours. So puff, puff, pass the poet's treat. Poetry is not neat. It is messy and unconfined, though sometimes refined like aged wine. Now pretend with me for a moment that poetry is sophistication, a justification to which you cannot give an explanation. Poetry is home and all are welcome here. No need to dry your eyes or hide your tears. Poetry is Ohana and we're all family here, dear. So take the blinders off and you will see that I am poetry, that you are poetry, that we are poetry. Don't you see? The Special K is poetry. Thank you.
Tell him again, tell him again, tell him again.
Yes, you are poetry.
Yes.
Come on.
Oh, woo.
Said puff, puff, pass that right here.
Nothing.
It's like, yeah, I can resonate with so much in that, in how much poetry means to me, in just writing and listening to and in reading it. It's just, it has this way of allowing you to see so many things that prior to poetry I couldn't see, I couldn't envision. Yeah, thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, you have one more?
I do have one more.
Let's do that.
All right.
We are definitely in for a treat today.
A few weeks ago, I had this conversation, but if I'm being honest, it was more like a confrontation. See, he kept asking and demanding of me, what did I get from being on this here stage? And every answer I gave just wasn't good enough and didn't seem to satisfy your curious eye. And I began to wonder if this were the place where you determined if I was qualified to share the light with the likes of you. And I went home that night and I knew I had to break up with words because I didn't sign up to be your player number 2 in this unforeseen game with its ever-changing rules. But come morning's light, I realized I could stop breathing easier than I could walk away from words. See, I fell in love with words before I ever even knew what love was. In fact, my words and I have a bond that goes way back. In fact, my mama said I never stopped talking once I learned how. That's the kind of relationship words and I have. Words teaches me things like how to be angry eloquently and beautiful before they ever even see me coming. Words taught me how to wield this double-edged sword and how to hold my shield just right. Careful, not too high, because you got to remember to protect the important parts like your heart, because sticks and stones may break your bones, but words, oh, they'll hurt you. Words taught me that love is a verb in action, and words introduced me to paper and pen, and where words is my best friend, paper and pen my lover. And we all live together in a world where threesomes do exist, and it's quite the normal thing to do. Words doesn't sugarcoat things. Words gives it to me straight. But words lets me pretend that I am a princess and I live in a castle and my Prince Charming waits somewhere just beyond the gates. But at the end of the day, when I am still lonely, words is there waiting for me. And when words is choked by tears before words has a chance to speak, words doesn't get angry. Words knows. Words will breathe again. Words says things like, why are you crying, girl? They are no better than you, girl. Pick your head up, girl. You are no doormat, girl. Words. Sometimes I wonder if paper and pen get jealous of this thing that words and I have become, because I fell in love with words before I ever even understood what love was. And late at night, when words and I stare up at the same nighttime sky, wishing we may, wishing we might have whatever wish we wish tonight, I wish that words had fallen in love with me before words knew what love was. Thank you so much.
Crazy.
Oh man, that was so beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's been amazing having you. I remember just seeing you the first time I saw you on BYOB. I think that was in December or so, and it was amazing. Yeah, it's just so good to have you headline for us. And yeah, if you're ever in London, you definitely have to come for a show in person.
Absolutely. When the world opens back up, I am definitely trying to figure out how I can come on across the pond.
I need you here. You come over with Dane.
That would be so good to have you in person. It's nice having you online here, and your poetry is just amazing. I can imagine how it will continue to flourish as the days go by. So I look forward to seeing and listening to more of it. And if you're working on anything with Rohan or publishing anything soon, just make sure you holler at us. I'd love to get a copy, a signed copy, So thank you. Abdullah, it's up to you now.
I don't know what to say as well. So this has been a crazy 12 shows that we've had, and then also we had 4 shows when we were able to have shows before the fuckery that's happening at the moment. And I think we're kind of in a position now where we don't have to worry about what we say, I guess. But even with that in mind, no matter where we are in the world right now as well, I think we can all agree that what's happening in Britain right now with the coronavirus is heartbreaking. And for us to be able to play a part in just being able to give everyone a chance to perform in times like this, I can't be thankful enough as well. So thank you again to Brent 2020. But now that we're no longer funded by them, we can say fuck the government, I guess.
Boris is a twat.
Okay, Boris, fucking Boris.
Come on.
And all I can say is, in terms of our next funding, we're going to cut this out of the live stream as well. But in all seriousness, thank you to everyone who's performed. Thank you to all the open micers who make it where it is. Thank you to all the people who watch at home. They're the silent majority, who push us to bring us out to the whole world. And thank you to the headliners, and thank you to Tanika, and thank you again to Akor as well. It's been a weird 12 months, and hopefully we're going to be seeing things open up in the next 12 months. And if not, then we got this platform, and we've got other platforms for poetry where we're able to kind of express ourselves and use it as part of our therapy, in order for everyone to be able to what's the word I'm looking for? Just use their words to express themselves, as Special K has said so eloquently in her poems as well. So yeah, thank you guys. Thank you. So Akor, I guess we're all going to be staying on the call for a little bit longer so we can chill, but we're going to end the live chat now, or the live video at least anyway. And from the bottom of my heart, and from the bottom of Akor's heart, and from the bottom of everyone's heart who's performed on BYOB, thank you for being with us, and we'll be back soon. We'll be back soon. This ain't the end of us. See you soon, guys.
Peace.